been a while, but we've got a brand new game coming out for the Sega Genesis and Mega Drive. My name's Mike, and this is the Retro Gamer Boy Show. It's been a while since we've been able to talk about a brand new game for our Sega Genesis and Mega Drives, but we have one, and it's a sequel to one of the biggest indie hits of 2022. The game we're going to be looking at today is the Cursed Legacy. Now, the Cursed Legacy is a sequel to the Cursed Knight. The team have sent me a demo. I'm going to be playing through this and giving you my first impressions of the game, and there's a link in the description if you'd like to download and play the demo yourself. Now, for today's preview, I'm going to be using the 𝗦𝗂𝗯𝗏 emulator to play the game. The Cursed Legacy is set 20 years after the events of the Cursed Knight, and you play as 𝗏𝗏𝗏's son, who is now the last human alive. He's on a mission to change the past, and it's going to mean killing his father. Development on the game started as far back as January 2022, but it wasn't until June 2022 when full development started. 9 months later, and the game is probably just under halfway through its development cycle. But it's impressive to see what the team has created, considering that they're all doing this in their spare time. The Cursed Legacy is a mixture of genres, with gameplay switching between action platforming, Metroid-like, and puzzling. The game starts with a nice in-game cutscene that sets context for the mission and the goal for your character. After that, it's straight into the action. The first few levels of the game are action platforming, and even at this early stage of development, they are a huge amount of fun to play, and the mechanics are solid and well implemented. Your primary actions are shoot, run, and jump, but like the team's last game, there is depth to all of these. The jump is more analog than binary. Tap the B button to jump, and you'll do a little hop. Hold the button down, and you'll jump higher and further. Pressing jump again while you're in the air, and you'll do a double jump into a spin. Locomotion too is more than just running left to right. Press down allows you to crouch, and pressing jump while you're in crouch performs a jump roll. If you jump roll into environmental scenery, you'll take cover against the scenery and blind fire over it. The team have also sent me video footage of a new level component that sees your character power sliding through the world. Finally, there's your attack. By holding down the A button, you get a constant fire rate from your dual plasma guns. You can run and gun and have a 5-directional arc from left to right. The C button also fires your gun, but anchors your character to the spot, useful for some of the boss fights. We've covered blind fire as part of the traversal, and you can collect a power-up that, if you leave it on the ground, will cycle through several personal and weapon upgrades. From the power-up, you can get a shield, which repels bullets, a heart that replenishes life. The weapon upgrades consist of a spread shot, heat-seeking shot, and a flamethrower. Both the traversal and combat feel intuitive and well balanced, and there's practically no learning curve to them. The action platformer level structure is still relatively simple at this stage of development. They are linear left to right designs with obstructions like raised platforms and gaps to jump over. As you progress through the levels, your progress is hindered by a variety of enemies. A nice mixture of aerial, enemies on the normal plane of fire, and enemies that require you to crouch. Not all of them are easily dispatched by simply just shooting at them. Some require you to get behind them to take them out. As you progress through the levels, more variation is introduced with a classic lift level, and another that has an electric field that shoots across the middle of the screen, forcing you to crouch and take out low-level enemies while dodging aerial attacks. It's a really nice design element. I've spoken to the team, and they've said that they are introducing more level complexity, which is exciting to hear. At the end of each level, there is also a boss, and these are really well designed. They are essentially pattern-based enemies like you'd find in games like Castlevania or Sonic, but there are multiple phases to the patterns, and they switch things up as they progress through these phases. The first boss is very dynamic, and I hope to see more like this in the final game. Now, all of this was just one of the genres in this game. The next plays a smaller role in the title, but really mixes things up. And this is the puzzling element, or maybe it's better we call this mini-games. Towards the end of the demo, you need to open a door, and in order to do this, you have a small mini-game to play to hack the door. It reminds me of the old Ratchet and Clank mini-games where you had to hack open doors to progress in the level. In this one, you control a sphere by steering it to the left or the right, like you would do a car. You need to steer it to another sphere that appears on the screen. Once you make contact with it, it joins to your other sphere and another one appears on the screen. It's similar to the old snake games you got on early mobile phones. You need to collect 20 in order to open the door. The more you collect though, the more the snake speeds up. In the main menu of the game, there's also an arcade room option where you can play this mini game at your leisure, and it potentially implies that there are going to be more of these mini games. Lastly, we have the Metroid-like gameplay. For this, the world zooms out as you traverse the environment in a mech. Just like in any Metroid-like game, you need to fend off enemies while searching for power-ups and weapons that will help you progress through the level. Talking to the team, they love games like Celeste and would love some of the areas of the Metroid-like design to play like this game. The demo ends in the Metroid-like world, so I've not had enough time to get a good feel for it. But from what I've played, it's shaping up to be a lot of fun. Visually, the game is a huge step up from the Cursed Knight. The action platformer has some really nice big sprites and some full-screen bosses. There's secondary animation all over the levels, everything from the armour of your character moving as you breathe, to grass and trees moving in the breeze. There's some nice heat haze in the background of the first level, and the in-game cutscenes are well presented. There are also some lovely flourishes in the art that make the title really stand out. Things like your character's hands moving the control stick in the minigames, and his fist hitting the console when you fail, or the transition from small to big as you move between the Metroid-like and action platforming levels. There's even some lovely digitized 3D as you find the mech, although it does need a little cleanup on the edges to remove the green, but I have no doubt these small little bugs will be cleaned up as development continues. The Metroid-like world is a little lacking in detail, with large areas of simple repeatable tiles in the background. I'd love to see some more detail here, as it makes the world feel a little bland. Games like 𝗦𝗂𝗯𝗀𝗿, and the up-and-coming Astro Bros are good examples of how a good, detailed, repeatable background can help the setting and narrative of the world. But again, the game is still deep in production, and as the team say, it's subject to change. Overall, this is a big step up in visual fidelity over the original, and I'm keen to see how far the team can push it. The sound design and track score are excellent. Just like with the Cursed Knight, the soundtrack is an up-tempo mix with some lovely variation in the tune. They really get you hyped up and help enhance the action on the screen. Sound effects are equally good, with bullet ricochets, explosions, enemy sounds, and environmental effects. Just check this out. The Cursed Legacy is shaping up to be an ambitious title for the team at GGS, but it already looks fantastic, and I love the mix and match of different genres. The art style has seen a significant upgrade, and the controls and core mechanics are as solid as they ever were for Cursed Knight. And just like the original game, the sequel has a fantastic soundtrack, and I can't wait to see what they do with the rest of it. Now, the game is still in development, but I did ask the team if they're going to be doing a Kickstarter and when we're likely to see that. And just like the Cursed Knight, they want the game to be completely finished before they do any kind of Kickstarter. And in terms of when we could see a Kickstarter, sometime in 2024 is the team's estimation. Now, if you love videos like this, if you love your Sega Genesis and Mega Drive, or you just love retro gaming, then why not consider subscribing? You can do this by clicking on the little button just below this video. We put out brand new retro gaming content every single Monday, and so that you don't miss it, you can also click on a little bell also just below this video. Now, if you can't wait till Monday, don't worry, because we've got a huge back catalogue of retro gaming videos for you to enjoy, 2 of which you can watch over here.